Hello and welcome to another Baggie Brothers podcast. We're talking all things Albion with me, Dan, and my brother, Adam. Say hello, Adam.
Hello, Adam.
Oh, well done.
Oh,
Now, apologies for this not being up sooner, but we are going to have a little chat about the match against Manchester United. And I guess the most important thing and the thing that's caused a lot of a stir in the footballing world is the VAR decisions in our match. I saw there was a nice tweet from Tubes from Soccer AM and a couple of other people talking about how we've been mugged off by the
massively.
VAR. Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
break them down. First mugging to the Albion, Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
Now, how do you see this?
Well, unless you've got a microscope or something to see that there may have been a stud clip that ball before he made contact with the shin, I don't see how you can't give that as a penalty. And every other pundit in the world has said the same. It was a penalty. So I honestly don't see. I don't know what he's seeing.
You could the argument could be made, and this is me playing devil's advocate. The argument could be made that Bruno Fernandes hits the ball and Gallagher's shin at the same time. You could say that, but like you say, there's no really watching that. We've watched it a few times. I can't see anything that is out and out. Yet it's ball then shin, or it's shin then ball. Which, if anything, it's a penalty. Everybody's saying it. Loads of pundits are saying it's a penalty. Loads of fans are saying it's a penalty, obviously, but that's a pen.
Yeah.
And the fact that we weren't given it was a little bit of a hard doing.
I think it is. And if you look, it's not just West Brom fans saying it because we're bitter that we've not got it and not got the decision.
No.
It was a genuine pen and it was a fuck up by the ref. The first one, anyway.
Yeah.
Of many.
Not great.
No.
And then we get on to the second one. Now, it was a handball from Furlong. It's a handball. Yeah, you can argue ball he can't get his hands out of the way in time, but his hand is up.
With the new rule as well, if the ball hits the hand in the box, it's a pen. I get it.
So it's a handball. Fine. I'm okay with that. Harsh, but I'll follow the rules. But, whether the referee's going to stick to them, fucking piece of shit. But, yeah, fine. Cool. It's a handball. Goes to the penalty. Now, we watched the highlights just before talking about this. And we watched this quite a few times. Now, obviously, the pen gets told to do a retake because Sam Johnston comes off his line. And we watched it, and it's pretty obvious he comes off his line. Maybe by half a foot, but he's off his line.
Yeah.
Can't really dispute that. He's off his line, so fine. They've got to do a retake. What I have a problem is we've seen quite a lot of penalties since the introduction of VAR. And even especially since the first lockdown, penalties were sort of just every week someone had a penalty.
Yeah.
And I, for the life of me, can't remember a time where a keeper hasn't come off his line by half a foot, or at least by the time the player has kicked the ball is not rooted on their line, is standing there waiting for the ball. They all do the same sort of get G'd up, then they jump, kicker goes to take it, and by the time they've landed, they're off the line. Because, it's what happens to people. You jump up, you might move a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, thoughts on that? Should have been a retake?
I think it was harsh because when you really slow it down, he is literally just off his line. He's not actually that far off when Fernandes puts his foot on that ball. But then again, I say it as I know it's from probably when the ball is struck, but Fernandes started that stupid run up, which took it with a hop, skip, and a jump. When Sam Johnson allowed to move for it, because technically that is the start of the penalty for me.
Well, I mean, again, that's again, I suppose, another whole other thing, like penalty run-ups, because Pogba had that time where he did his stupidly so shuffle and sort of bobbed up to it, and you kind of just get on with it, mate. But it's to psych out a keeper, and he does that little jump to kind of trick him into think, and now I'm going to kick it. Again, I don't really have a care about that part.
No.
Personally.
But is it purely just because he's missed it? Is it purely just because he's missed it that there's a retake?
Well,
Because
well, I don't know.
on the second one, Johnson does exactly the same thing. He jumps forward. Well,
Yeah.
he jumps forward more, in my opinion, on the second one. Goes to his right, was too slow for it,
Well,
but it now
that's
was
the other
allowed.
argument, isn't it? Because
So,
you look at the retake, and yeah, Sam jumps off his line again. So should the argument be made that we have to take the penalty again,
well, that's the point.
or
How many times do you take it?
do they just say no? They scored. We'll let them have it.
Yeah,
Like it's almost like, and I don't know if this is a general ruling in football anyway, but if it's like, well, if they score the penalty and the goalkeeper's off the line, we'll give them the goal. If the goalkeeper comes off his line and saves it, we won't, because either way, the keeper's cheated.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, the team that are trying to score have got their goal. So do they kind of go, all right, give them the goal? It'd be
yeah.
interesting to see if they did say, no, you got to retake that pen because he came off the line in a future match. If they do make that decision for a game, and I'll be really fucked off if it happens against us. If it's one of our penalties and they go, no, you got to, we know you scored, but you've got to retake it because he came off his line.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
I'd
You'd
just
be
quit
pissed off, wouldn't you?
caring
Yeah.
about football. I'd be like, fuck it, this game's stupid now.
Well, it's getting close to it with VAR anyway, if I'm honest. Like watching the
It does
game.
take a lot of fun out of the game. But yeah, I guess what we're trying to say is from watching that replay a few times, where do the rules start? Where do they end? Who has to follow them so strictly? Like Sam Johnson's off his line for the first take, he's off his line for the second take. If he's off his line for the first one, he's off his line for the second one. If he's not off his line for the second one, he's not off his line for the first one.
Yeah, 100%. That's the way I look
They're
at it.
either treated the same way or they're treated differently. Now, again, if it's because they scored and they go, cool, we give them the goal, then that's another problem. It's like, well, do you then just let them have the goal? I mean, in a way, that kind of does make a bit of sense to me, but again, it's whether
You're not
that
really
it's the
giving the
whole
keeper a
cheating thing.
chance, are you?
Yeah, in that
At all.
scenario, it is then like,
You've got a dude
cool, goalkeepers.
from a standing position and not being able to
Goalkeeper's got
move.
no chance to get an edge over on his
Yeah,
opposition, which, you
no,
know,
which is harsh, isn't it?
but
Well,
but then are we only saying these things because it's happened to us? This is also something I would, is worth pointing out. Are we only having this we are only having this discussion because it's happened to Albion, but do we only care about it this way because it's happened to Albion? If it happened to Leeds in a game, or if it happened to Everton, would we give a shit? Probably not as much. Wouldn't feel as unjust
yeah,
in the sporting world, but that's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the Albion.
yeah.
And you know what? It's I think it's a real shame that obviously they had to do the whole retake, because it was an amazing save from Sam Johnson,
One of
regardless of whether he's
yeah,
half a yard or whatever off his line, because he'd had such a great game anyway, and he had a great
yeah,
game the whole match.
one of many great saves, wasn't it?
Yeah,
He
he
like
was absolutely phenomenal.
3 or 4 world class saves in that game. In
The
my
what my I think my favourite one was the one against Rashford towards the end of the match, where
yeah,
he took a shot at him from, couldn't have been like a yard out from in front of him, and he just got to it.
just reactions, left hand, wasn't it? Tipped it past the post.
It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
unbelievable save. Yeah,
Really, really good game from Sam Johnson. And I suppose
and I think
that's been a trend for us. We're talking about how good he's been over the last few.
and I think everyone that was like us a bit wary at the start was a bit, oh, Sam Johnson. But I think he's proven that he's one of the, at this minute in time, I'd put him as one of the top 10 keepers in the Premier League.
Ignoring, yeah, I mean, yeah, I suppose that's not
I
a terrible
would.
way of thinking about it. Kind of like how Ben Foster was really, really good with
Yeah.
Watford last season,
Yeah. And for us,
even
when he
though they
was in the
got
Premier League,
relegated.
yeah, even with us in the Premier League, Ben Foster
Yeah,
was one of the top 8 keepers in the Premier League. So, yeah,
it's just
no,
a
I'd
shame,
say,
yeah, he'd got a piece of shit defense in front of him. But
yeah.
I
But
think,
no, yeah, Sam Johnson's come on leaps and bounds. And I think that he's probably the first name on the team sheet with Gallagher. Again, he had a really good game in the midfield, didn't he?
I mean, we are becoming a bit of a broken record here,
We are, but
because Sam Johnson has really great games in goal, but unfortunately concedes one, whether that's down to him or down to the game just playing against him, but it happens. Gallagher runs the midfield. Grant and Robinson look fantastic up front,
they
but they
did,
just
yeah.
aren't getting goals.
I know, but Robbo was so close to that effort from outside the
It was
box.
great. I was,
It hit the
rattled
bar.
against the bar, and
Yeah.
I
Oh,
did, I
yeah.
did
It
my
felt,
usual little
yeah.
jump out of my seat because it's like, oh, where's the goal?
Yeah.
But it's not a goal.
It's not a goal, I
We
know.
need
Grant was
goals.
close as well, wasn't he, in the first
Yeah,
half, just with that shot that just went wide. So
yeah,
they're getting closer,
yeah.
and
Cool.
which
At
is
this rate, we'll get a goal just in time for Christmas.
well, that's what we all want, isn't it? A goal
I'd
for
like 3
Christmas.
points at least before Christmas.
Well, it's a great chance in the next game, isn't it?
Yes, we do have a
Es-
chance of getting some points.
Especially if we play like we have against Spurs and United, because I think we've been probably the better team against both, and we've been
I
really
believe we were the
unlucky.
better team against Spurs. We were just really unlucky towards the end.
Yeah,
We matched them at least, and then
yeah,
same for United. We played really well. But as soon as that penalty happened, you could see everyone just like, oh, for God's sake,
again,
the whole
yeah,
team just emotionally just go, really? Oh, brilliant! All right, let's not even bother. I wouldn't be surprised at some point with us if we have more problems. They're just going to stand on the pitch and go, do you know what? I'm just going home and just walk off because it's just
yeah.
cruel. But yeah, next game we're against Sheffield.
Yeah, if we can take the momentum and play like we have in the last two games, I think we'll batter them. I genuinely do.
I
If we play
hope
like
so.
we do, and I think Robinson needs to start. I said it last time as well. He's our top goal scorer. I think he has to start.
It would be good to put Robinson and Grant up front together and
I
have
think
them
it's
as a
worth a
two.
try
Worth a
against
try
Sheffield
against a
United.
team like Sheffield. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
they're not a top Premier League team. No offense, Sheffield United, but they're not a top six team.
And everyone's worked them out,
They're
haven't
really
they?
good.
Last year they were a bit of a surprise package with the way they played, but now everyone's worked them out and they haven't got a plan to. So I'm hoping we can go there and exploit them.
Yeah, it'd be good to come out of that game with more than 1 point.
Yeah, it would
But,
be.
and we
I
and we
really
desperately
hope it
need
would be.
something because
Yeah,
I
we
feel
do.
I feel like if we can't get it against Sheffield,
The gap's just going to keep growing, isn't it?
the gap's going to keep growing, and I'm going to find it hard to even really want to watch
Yeah,
because you know I've watched most of the games we've had this season. Missed a few, obviously, one because of your wedding and a couple of others, your bloody wedding, and a couple of other weekends. I've been working or whatever, but
yeah,
I've seen most of the games, and every week we're getting that little bit better as a team,
yeah, we are.
playing together, but we're
Yeah,
just not scoring any goals.
I know, and that we always knew that was going to be our main problem, didn't we?
Yeah,
When we came up, we all said we were begging for a striker. Grant's now had a few games to get his fitness up, which I think is what he needed. He's a
yeah,
goal scorer, so I'm hoping he can do it.
yeah.
Um, we've obviously got Robinson
Robinson's
that's
yeah plays
chipping in
very well.
goals. Dean Garner needs to chip in, I think, a bit more with a few.
Pereira,
Pereira as well.
Connor,
Um,
be good to see him get a few goals as
if
well.
he added that to his game, yeah, I think he'd be in the Chelsea team next year. Not
Yeah,
starting, probably a bit on the bench if he added goals. So
to help them
yeah,
out. And then just defense need to just plug up some of them leaks. But
yeah,
they've not. But they're gonna, then again,
I
saying
thought,
that like
yeah,
last few games, they haven't
defense.
been that leaky.
No, they've been
Just
actually really
been
quite solid, haven't they?
little. It's
There's a
just
few
like
moments,
one
isn't there? But
one
every team,
mistake.
yeah, every team has a few moments, don't they? In a game, they're not 100% every game.
Yeah, it's
So,
frustrating. It's
but
very frustrating being an
I
Albion
think the
fan.
boys, the
Isn't it?
boys can hold their heads up high. They did do us proud. They played well again.
Yeah.
So just keep the heads up and keep going into the next game is what I'd say to them. If
The
I was
th- the thing
Bilic,
the thing I am a little concerned about is Bilic. Really, at this point now, I'm worried that he's either gonna turn around and go, "I'm done, I'm gone," or he's gonna get fired. Neither of which I want. I want him to stick around. I want him to see out the job. I want him to be get until the end of the season. And if we get relegated, we get relegated. But if we go out on Bilic's terms, we go out on Bilic's terms. I don't want it to be a you've been sacked where you didn't get any results. And it's like, did you see how well we played against those teams?
well, that's what I was
Like,
going to say. I
it's
think
unfair.
if he got the sack now after those two results, I think that'd be stupid because you can see that we've progressed as a team. We're a
Yeah,
better team collectively. We're passing better. We're defensively stronger. It is literally just at the other end of the field. We need to score the goals, and Bilic can't do that for players.
no.
So tactically, he's been pretty good recently.
Yeah.
I think anyway, and I think a lot of Bilic out people have kind of turned around as well after the last two results.
The
And they're
thing, like
saying
again, yeah, it's not really. Anything that's gone wrong on the pitch hasn't been down to Bilic, in my
no,
opinion.
no, it's been players
Team.
like Gibbs against Everton getting sent off.
Yeah,
That was Gibbs all over. That buggered us up for that game. So
yeah.
that was out of Bilic's hands, wasn't it? And that we were playing all right in that game. I thought we were going to get something out of it. So it's more points just gone. But like you say, this gap at the bottom, we can't let it get too big that we're going shit.
Yeah. I
You
mean, come
know,
Christmas time, I really do not want it to be like, yeah, a
9,
huge gap. Yeah,
12
nine,
points. I
12
mean,
points
fucking
between
hell.
us, and yeah, just going to be absolutely horrific. But
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
not going to be great. Where are we in the table? We're bottom, aren't we?
No, are we? Do you know what? I didn't even check before we.
Don't even know where we are in the table.
I thought we were. Yeah, no, we're 19th.
Oh, fucking sick.
So Sheffield are bottom with 1 point. So we've got to win.
So yeah, so if we do not pick up a point in that game,
Yeah, Fulham are just above us on 4 points. We're on 3. Burnley
sweet, we
are
can leapfrog them.
on 5.
Oh, jump 2 places.
So we can go to 17th. But
What's the goal difference?
Burnley have got a game in hand. Quick maths off the top of my head because it doesn't show me on this map. We are -12 and Fulham are -9.
We got to win by 3.
Yeah.
And what are Burnley?
Burnley are. You're testing my maths, aren't you?
That's basically what I'm doing.
Yeah.
What's the square root of 81, Adam?
-8. I don't give a shit. Minus. And Burnley are on -8 goals. So
we need to win by 4.
yeah, basically we need
4
to.
goals. Let's win by 5.
We
5-0,
conceded 18 and we've scored 6. It's not great.
That's poor, isn't it? When you say that out loud, I'm just, oh god.
I know. It's not great, is it?
Not great.
But
Could one of the bigger teams just like give us a week? Like,
yeah,
wouldn't it be good, like towards the end of the season, if just all the big teams just played their like under 18, so we could get some points?
it'd be nice.
Pity for the Albion.
On a positive though, Wolves are losing 1-0 to Southampton at this point, so hopefully that's.
Yeah, I just saw that as well.
Yeah, so hopefully that stays as it is.
Yeah,
Put a bit of a smile back on our face, won't it? So yeah,
bittersweet.
So yeah, must win next game, Sheffield United.
Yeah, I guess we'll see you after that and see how we've got on with that. Hopefully, lots of positives to talk about.
I'm hoping.
Wonderful.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for listening and watching. If you have done, you can click that red subscribe button down below. That'll help us out. And be sure to click the like button as well, because that also helps us out. Socials are on the page. Anything else you want to add, Adam?
Oh, thanks for watching, guys.
Nice one. See you next week.